Hey guys, how's it going? It's Al. Week 12 kicks off on Sunday morning. We're recording this on Friday. Some of these percentages may change by then, but we're going to talk about my favorite 5 players under 5% projected percentage in tournaments. A lot of words. We're going to get after it on this video like we do every single week. Is every one of these going to hit? Do you have to play them? Hell no, that's not going to happen. These players are under 5% for a reason. Sometimes it's because they're overpriced. Sometimes it's because their projectability is tough. Sometimes it's because the matchup just looks difficult. And sometimes it's just because there's so much other value on a slate that people are ignoring him. Kind of like happened last week with that was the most star-studded 5 under 5 that we've ever had on this channel, and a lot of them hit, and I believe that some of you guys won a lot of money. I'm sure that this week's video is going to have more traffic than last week's video because last week's video did so well, and that means that, you know, people are going to be disappointed if these low percentage plays don't hit. Understand what they are and understand why you're playing them. It's never about the percentage of one player in your lineup. It's about getting the cumulative percentage down under 130% if you're playing large field tournaments. Cash games, play the highest percentage guys that there are. Tournaments, you do have to make some decisions to try and attack the field. So thank you guys for being here. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notifications bell, leave me a reply down below with how you are going to be attacking tournaments here in week 12, and let's go.
He's a legend.
Well, guys, you did it. You absolutely did it. We have passed the $25,000 mark in terms of money raised for No Kid Hungry on the season.
Hey, listen.
And Tom just donated $25 more. We're going to get to that in just a second. So because we hit it, and we hit it on Thanksgiving Day, Sharon, thank you for the $50. How special was that we did it that time, triggering another $10,000 match from me? If we can raise, I've raised the total. So if we can get to $35,000 raised by December 31st, I am going to donate another $25,000 myself, which will make it $100,000 raised. Here's what we've done as a community so far. There's the new total up to $35,000. We raised $2,000 earlier this year, giving away an NFT horse. A couple of years ago, we raised $15,000 for No Kid Hungry. And last year in March, we raised another $7,000. Our community has raised a total, not counting my matches, our community is almost at that $50,000 mark. So we are definitely making big things happen. So thank you guys very much. And make sure that you jump in the Smiz Gang Listener League. We're sitting at about 800 and something. It's a short week, so we got to fill this fast. If you have not gotten in there yet, smizzle.tv/league. The link is the same every single week. I just changed the redirect. I do that for you. So bookmark the league page at smizzle.tv/league. That'll take you to the Listener League every Monday as soon as Draftkings sends me the link. $10, 3 max, absolutely no rake, and I'll shout out the winners when we get to the recap video that lives on the second channel, Al Smizzle Games. Our first player on the list this week is Jeff Wilson Jr., coming in at a projected 4.5%. Now, look, this can get blown up if Eli Mitchell plays. Right now, it does not look like Mitchell is coming off of the list yet. If he does, then yes, this pick gets blown up. We're recording this at 11 a.m. on Friday morning. So if somewhere around 6 p.m. Friday night Pacific time, Jeff Wilson is the backup, then take him off the list. But right now, this is way too low against Minnesota, a team that has seen an awful lot of shootouts. Their defense has not been good this year, to the point where every game seems to just shoot out. Now, there's a lot of opportunity cost here if you're playing 49ers, as people are going to be drawn away to play Debo at 7,900. Low 5Ks for Ayuk, who's seen over 20% of targets the last few weeks. Also, George Kittle back. But like, Jeff Wilson can certainly have himself a day on the road against the 49ers defense that has not been very efficient against opposing running backs. Our other running back, totally different situation, but underplayed because of all the value that's out there. With AJ Dillon at 5,900, with Henderson at 5,800, and a lot of other plays that are sub 6K, James Robinson is going overlooked, projected at 4% this week. 6,200 gets you a running back that's getting all of the volume that exists on Jacksonville, and now plays an Atlanta defense that historically has been bad against running backs, historically meaning like the last 4 or 5 years, right? Like, they've just not been a good defense, allowing a ton of efficiency for opposing running backs. He has not been somebody who has not been able to get you 15 plus points. At 6.2K, if he scores you over 20, something he's done 3 times so far this year, you're going to be more than happy with that at a very decreased percentage in tournaments. James Robinson, also a very good play this week. You knew that he was going to be on there, didn't you? Why won't people play Justin Jefferson? What do you guys have against him? Do you just not like the gritty or something? Because he does it literally every week, apparently. 40.2 points, was on the 5 under 5 last week, caught 8 of 10. The week before was under 5% again, caught 9 of 11. These 2 weeks, week 8 and 9, they admittedly said we did not do enough things to get the ball into his hands. So, like, while we sometimes have to take coach speak with a grain of salt, right? Like, you just can't always go after coach speak. I agree with that. But when they're telling you, you know what? We're a better team when Justin Jefferson, when we do things to get the ball in his hands, that was a big predictor to me that they were going to do it. He still projects at under 5%, projected at 3.9 again. Now, again, this is a situation where it's the same price pivot as most people at that price point are going to go pay for Devontae Adams on Green Bay. And it's extremely pricey to get up here, and there's better values. So you're both same price point pivoting off of Kupp at 96, off of Adams at 86, and you're paying up to be contrarian against other plays as well. He correlates extremely well as a secondary stack with any of those San Francisco players that I mentioned before, who are also very good plays this week. I did want to mention one thing. I'm recording this on Black Friday, and if you head over to the merch store, there's like a list of things all down below. Tons of different merch that's in there, shirts, sweatshirts, and I'm going to be adding some new merch as the season goes on. Minutes equals money, sweatshirts, hoodies, zip-ups, everything that there is to have. Coffee mugs in different colors. If you use the code BLACK2021, there is 15% off of anything in the Smiz Gang merch store. So if you did want to pick up a sweatshirt as the weather gets a little bit colder, head over there and pick that up. Odell Beckham Jr. has to play more. He has to. Okay? I understand that was a short week against San Francisco. He did not play that many snaps. There was not enough time for him to digest the playbook, but this is a 3 wide receiver team in this offense. They have to run 3, and they funnel all of their work to basically 4 dudes through the air. 5 if you count the running back. But that's all that touches the ball in this McVay offense. You have the primary wide receiver, who's Kupp, the secondary, who was Woods and is now will be Odell Beckham Jr., the third guy who's going to be stretching the field, it was previously other players, now is Van Jefferson, and the tight end, Higbee, is playing 95% of the snaps. The running back also gets involved a little bit in the passing game, more this year than in previous years. But when you take a look at this Rams team, if we can come over here, take a look at this Rams wide receiver core. I said the Rams wide receiver core. Cooper Kupp getting his. Odell Beckham Jr. should slide into more work. Jefferson, Woods is out. You've got Skronek and Koski. Odell Beckham Jr. projects right now at about 2% this week. He's 5K. I don't know what the exact... I have not figured out what the range of outcomes is here yet for Odell Beckham Jr. in terms of his volume only. That's all I'm concerned with. There has to be over a 50% chance that he gets 6 or more targets in this game at 5K. Has to be. He has to play 70+% of the snaps. Has to. Absolutely has to. And if he is going to get that amount of volume at this price and that projected percentage, to me, he is a fantastic 5 under 5 play. If we're going to go over to the tight ends, Mike Gesicki has done nothing this year except see volume game after game after game. You can make the argument that Miami is not a great offense. Fine. The offensive line is not good. Fair. But like, you don't get this sort of volume and 20-point upside from very many tight ends at all, let alone on this slate. There might be 2 others on this slate that can realistically project for over 20 points as a part of their ceiling, and Mike Gesicki is certainly one of them. Squaring off against Carolina in a very condensed target tree of players that can't get the ball for Miami through the air. And this game does look like it could turn into somewhat of a little bit of a sneaky shootout. One, with Miami's inability to run the football effectively, and Carolina being a little bit more efficient on the ground with their quarterback play improving from where it was and to Cam, from Darnold and PJ to Cam. Now all of a sudden, and getting CMC back, Miami's going to have to score points and move the football to stay competitive in this game, and that means more attempts. More attempts means more targets means more fantasy scoring. Mike Gesicki under 5%, projecting at 3.3. You can go worse routes at tight end than going with a high-priced pivot, paying up to be contrarian, and getting off of the more chalkier plays that are higher by going to Gesicki this week. Thank you guys for watching. I wish you the best of luck in tournaments. Remember, it's never about fading or playing one player just because of what their percentage projects to be. It's more about your cumulative percentage. Stay under 130 in large field tournaments. You can expand that if you're playing 100-man to 300-man tournaments. Wish you the best of luck. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, and look out for another video right there.
He's a legend.